So friends, namaskar and good day to all. I am once again in front of you with one more very interesting and related presentation on your profession as a valuer. The key aspects relating to valuers under the draft income tax rules 2026 2026. We will learn about eligibility criteria, registration requirements, removal of registration of valuers, removal or resignation of valuers, valuation methodologies and standards, valuers' duties, functions, and records. So friends, a CV group welcomes you for watching this video. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe the official YouTube channel CEV's Registered Valuers Club, which is now updated to CEV's Engineers and Valuers Club. This channel is created for getting all new professional updates related to our profession. So friends, as you know, CBDT invites stakeholders input on draft income tax rules forms ahead of April 1st rollout. The press released by CBDT Income Tax Department, Government of India on 8th of February 2026. The Central Board of Direct Taxes has invited comments and suggestions from stakeholders on the proposed income tax rules and related forms framed under the new enacted Income Tax Act 2025, which is scheduled to come in force from April 1st, 2026. So the Income Tax Act 2025 received presidential assent in August 2025 and represents a comprehensive overhaul of India's direct tax framework. In preparation for its implementation, the Department of Revenue under the Ministry of Finance has released a draft rules and forms for public consultation, signaling a consultative approach aimed at a smoother transition and better compliance. The draft income tax rules and forms have been uploaded on the official website of the Income Tax Department, and the link is given for your feedback for examination by professionals, trade bodies, and other stakeholders. Inputs received will be compiled and reviewed before final notification of the rules. 4 key areas of stakeholders' feedback. The CBDT has especially invited suggestions under the 4 broad categories: simplification of language to improve clarity and reduce interpretational ambiguity, reduction of litigation, especially in areas prone to recurring disputes, reduction of compliance burden for taxpayers and professionals, and identification of redundant or obsolete rules and forms that may no longer be relevant in the current tax and digital ecosystem. To facilitate participation, the Income Tax Department has launched a dedicated online utility on the e-filing portal, accessible from February 4th, 2026. Stakeholders can submit their views after a simple OTP-based verification process using their name and mobile number. Call for informed participation. The CPDT has urged stakeholders to clearly specify the exact rule, sub-rule, or form number while submitting suggestions, and to categorize each recommendation under the 4 prescribed heads. This structured feedback mechanism is expected to assist the government in refining the rules before their formal notification. As India transitions into a new income tax regime from April 2026, the present consultation process is being seen as a crucial step towards creating a simpler, litigation-light, and compliance-friendly tax framework. Professional bodies of valuers and allied experts are expected to play an important role in shaping the final contours of rules that will govern valuation-related aspect under the new law. So, implications for valuers and allied professionals. For registered valuers, engineers, chartered accountants, and other tax professionals, the draft rules are of particular significance as valuation provisions and reporting requirements under the new Act are expected to have a direct bearing on tax assessments, compliance standards, and dispute resolution mechanism. Experts note that this consultation window offers valuers an opportunity to flag practical challenges, ambiguities in valuation-related provisions, and any compliance-heavy requirement that may affect professional practice. Inputs can help ensure that valuation rules are aligned with ground realities, professional standards, and evolving market practices. So, I will translate it into Hindi. CBDT ने नए आयकर नियमों पर हितधारकों से सुझाव आमंत्रित किए हैं। नई दिल्ली 8 फरवरी 2026। केंद्रीय प्रत्यक्ष कर बोर्ड सीबीडीटी ने नए आयकर अधिनियम 2025 के अंतर्गत प्रस्तावित आयकर नियमों, इनकम टैक्स रूल्स और प्रपत्रों फॉर्म्स पर सभी हितधारकों के सुझाव आमंत्रित किए हैं। यह नया कानून 1 अप्रैल 2026 से लागू होने जा रहा है। सरकार ने इन नियमों और फॉर्म्स का मसौदा ड्राफ्ट तैयार कर आयकर विभाग की आधिकारिक वेबसाइट पर सार्वजनिक किया है ताकि अंतिम अधिसूचना से पहले सभी संबंधित पेशेवरों से राय ली जा सके। सुझाव आमंत्रित करने के प्रमुख क्षेत्र। सीबीडीटी ने सुझाव देने के लिए 4 प्रमुख विषय तय किए हैं। भाषा का सरलीकरण, नियमों और फॉर्म्स को आसान और स्पष्ट बनाना, विवाद और लिटिगेशन में कमी, कर मामलों में अनावश्यक मुकदमों को कम करना, अनुपालन बोझ में कमी, करदाताओं और पेशेवरों के लिए प्रक्रिया को सरल बनाना, अनावश्यक पुराने नियमों व फॉर्म्स की पहचान जो अप्रासंगिक नहीं है। सुझाव कैसे दें? आयकर विभाग ने ई फाइलिंग पोर्टल पर एक विशेष लिंक उपलब्ध कराया है जहां कोई भी हितधारक अपने सुझाव दर्ज करा सकता है। सुझाव देते समय संबंधित नियम संख्या, उप नियम या फॉर्म नंबर का स्पष्ट उल्लेख करना आवश्यक है। अब इन चेंजेस का वैल्यूअर्स और इंजीनियर्स के लिए क्या महत्व है? यह पहल पंजीकृत वैल्यूअर्स, इंजीनियरों और चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स और टैक्स प्रोफेशनल्स के लिए विशेष रूप से महत्वपूर्ण है। नए आयकर नियमों में संपत्ति मूल्यांकन मींस प्रॉपर्टी वैल्यूएशन, रिपोर्टिंग मानक और अनुपालन प्रक्रियाओं से जुड़े प्रावधान शामिल हैं जिनका सीधा प्रभाव वैल्यूअर्स की पेशेवर गतिविधियों पर पड़ेगा। यह अवसर वैल्यूअर्स को यह सुझाव देने का मंच देता है कि मूल्यांकन से जुड़े नियम व्यवहारिक हों, अनावश्यक जटिलताओं को हटाया जाए, विवादों की संभावनाओं को कम किया जाए। की टेकअवेज फॉर प्रेजेंटेशन। नया आयकर कानून लागू होने से पहले नियमों को व्यवहारिक, सरल और पेशेवर अनुकूल बनाने का यह एक सुनहरा अवसर है। वैल्यूअर्स को सक्रिय रूप से अपने सुझाव देने चाहिए ताकि भविष्य में अनुपालन आसानी और विवाद कम हो। So now we will learn some key aspects relating to valuers under the draft income tax rules 2026. Rule 246 to 249 are related to valuers. It should be read with Rule 247. Now, statutory framework for valuers. The draft income tax rule 2026 introduced a comprehensive and structured regime governing valuers under Section 514 of the Income Tax Act 2025. These rules regulate the registration, qualification, eligibility, conduct, fees, and reporting format of valuers for income tax purposes. Application for registration as valuer, Rule 246. The application for registration as valuers is covered under Rule 246. Registration as a valuer is mandatory for valuation under the Act. Application shall be made in Form 169. We will see this form. I will show you the form number 169 that is available in the drop-down section of this presentation. The application must be verified in the prescribed manner. A non-refundable fee of 10,000 is payable. Transitional provision allows certain pending applications to be treated as valid on payment of an additional 5,000, subject to fulfillment of qualification criteria. Where an applicant becomes ineligible due to new qualification requirements, the fee already paid is refundable on application. The application must be disposed of within 6 months from the end of the month in which it is made. The authority may call for further information before granting or rejecting registration. देखिए, सिंपली आपको 169 फॉर्म दिया गया है। 169 फॉर्म के अंदर रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए नए सिरे से अप्लाई करना है। नॉन रिफंडेबल फीस आपको 10,000 जमा करानी है। अगर आपकी एप्लीकेशन ऑलरेडी जमा है और वो पेंडिंग है इन रूल के आने से पहले, तो आपको 5,000 एडिशनल जमा कराना है, सब्जेक्ट टू फुलफिलमेंट ऑफ क्वालिफिकेशन क्राइटेरिया। अगर क्वालिफिकेशन क्राइटेरिया आपका फुलफिलमेंट नहीं हो रही है, तो फी जो आपने ऑलरेडी पे की है वो आपको रिफंड कर दी जाएगी। और जो एप्लीकेशन है, इट मस्ट बी डिस्पोज्ड ऑफ विद इन 6 months from the end of the month in which it is made. So, qualification of registered valuers, it is mentioned in Rule 247. Number 1, asset wise classification. अब कौन कौन से assets यहां पर उन्होंने दिए हैं? The rule prescribed specific qualifications for different classes of assets, including immovable property other than agricultural land, plantation, forest, mine, and quarries. Number 2 is agricultural land. Number 3 is plantation, coffee, tea, rubber, and cadmium. Number 4 is forests. Number 5, mines and quarries. Number 6, financial assets, business assets, and goodwill. Number 7, machinery and plant. Number 8, jewelry. Number 9, work of art. Number 10, life interest, reversions, and interest in expectancy. Specific provisions. The applicant must possess a graduate or postgraduate degree in a specified discipline in valuation from a recognized university or a qualification recognized by the central government, and have at least 10 years experience as an engineer or valuer. It is reduced to 2 years if holding a postgraduate degree in valuation, or 10 years of teaching experience in relevant engineering or valuation subjects, or 10 years professional practice as a consulting engineer or valuer with prescribed minimum gross receipts. These requirements are laid down exhaustively in the rule with no scope of relaxation outside the rule framework. Now, general eligibility and disqualification, these are mentioned in Rule 247, subclause 4 and 5. The person shall not qualify for registration as a valuer if he is currently employed under the government or any other employer, he has been dismissed or removed from government service, he is not a valuer member of or not recommended by a registered valuers organization under the Companies Act, registered valuers and valuation rules 2017. He has been convicted or penalized under specified provisions of income tax, wealth tax और गिफ्ट टैक्स लॉज। फ्रेंड्स, यहां पर मैं आपको सिंप्लीफाई करके बता रहा हूं, लेकिन फाइनल जब भी आपको कोई कंफ्यूजन या कोई डाउट या कोई भी आपको कोई क्वेरी हो, तो आई रिक्वेस्ट यू टू प्लीज look into the actual draft issued by the government of India, जो नीचे आप अगर इसको स्क्रॉल डाउन करेंगे इस प्रेजेंटेशन को, यहाँ पर आपकी फैसिलिटी के लिए ये सारे के सारे यहाँ पूरा ड्राफ्ट और यहाँ पर इसके अंदर डाल दिया गया। व्हेन यू क्लिक ऑन दिस यू विल गेट द एक्चुअल ड्राफ्ट। किसी भी कंफ्यूजन की स्थिति में या किसी भी कंफ्यूजन की सिचुएशन में आप उसको रेफर करिए और उसकी लैंग्वेज ही फाइनल मानिए। He is an undischarged insolvent or bankrupt. He has been convicted of any offensive involving imprisonment. These are disqualification. He has been found guilty of professional misconduct. He is a minor or a unsound mind. He has not been found fit to be registered or for reasons recorded in the writing after providing an opportunity of being heard. ये यहाँ पर जो conditions हैं, these are conditions of disqualification for registration. Now, recognition of experience and qualifications. Experience requirements may be fulfilled collectively or singly, provided the total period meets the prescribed duration. Degrees must be from a recognized university, including UGC recognized institutions and certain recognized foreign universities with certain limitations. Mere membership of an institution is insufficient unless it is granted on the basis of passing prescribed examination. Scale of fees chargeable by registered valuers, Rule 248. It is mentioned, the scale of fees is mentioned in Rule 248. The rule prescribed a minimum fee structure calculated on the value of the asset. 5% on first 5 lakh, 2% on next 10 lakh, 1% on next 40 lakh, 0.5% on the balance. You can also check the exact figure from the rules issued by the Government of India, where multiple assets are valued for the same SSC. They are treated as the single asset for the fee calculation. The minimum fee chargeable is 5,000. यहाँ पर क्लियर किया गया है कि मिनिमम फी जो चार्जेबल है वो that will be 5,000. Valuation report is mentioned in Rule 249. Every valuation carried out by a registered valuer must be reported strictly on Form 170. अब ये Form 170 एक इश्यू किया गया है जिसके ऊपर आप वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट रिलीज करेंगे। ऐसा नहीं है कि आप किसी भी फॉर्म में वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट को इशू करेंगे। एक फॉर्म 170 दिया गया है। फॉर्म 170 अगर आप देखेंगे तो यहाँ पर जो रेड कलर का बटन है क्लिक हियर, इसके अंदर हमने आपके रेफरेंस के लिए इंक्लूड कर दिया है, लेकिन फिर भी आप रूल को फॉलो करिए और फॉर्म 170 के ऊपर ही रिपोर्ट आपको देनी है। द फॉर्मेट इज मैंडेटरी एंड यूनिफॉर्म फॉर all classes of assets. So, in section 513, it is clear that appearance by registered valuer in certain matters. Any SSC entitled to or required to attend before any income tax authority or the appellate tribunal in matters relating to valuation of any asset may attend through a registered valuer. The provision of subsection 1 shall not apply where the SSC is required to attend personally or for examination on oath or affirmation under section 246. For the purpose of this section, the expression registered valuer means a person registered as a valuer under section. Now, section 514, read with rule 246 and 249. Registration, qualification, duties and fees of valuers under Income Tax Act 2025. registration, qualification, duties and fees of valuers under the Income Tax Act 2025. Now, statutory scheme of valuation under the Act. Section 514 of the Income Tax Act 2025 lays down the substantive law relating to registration of valuers, while Rule 246 to 249 provide the procedural and operational framework for giving effect to the said section. Together, they regulate the registration, qualification, obligations, fees, and reporting standards applicable to valuers under the Act. Now, registration of valuers under Section 514, Subclause 1. The Section 514(1) mandates that the principal chief commissioner or the principal director general or director general shall maintain the register of valuers. The register shall contain the names and addresses of the persons registered as valuers under Section 514(2). The statutory register forms the official record of persons authorized to undertake valuation under the Act. Now, application for registration, that is given in Section 514, Subclause 2, Subsection 2, read with Rule 246. Application for registration, Section 514, 2, read with Rule 246. Right to apply. Under Section 514(2), any person possessing such qualification for valuing such class of assets as may be prescribed may apply for registration as a valuer. Forms, verification and fee. Rule 246 give effect to this provision by prescribing that the application shall be made in Form 169. आपको जो एप्लीकेशन रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए देना है that shall be made on Form 169. And the application shall be verified in the prescribed manner. The application shall be accompanied by a non-refundable fee of rupees 10,000. Transitional and disposal provisions. Rule 246 further provides for treatment of certain pending applications made before commencement of the Act, adjustment or refund of fees in specified cases, and disposal of the application within 6 months from the end of the month in which it is made. Now, qualification of valuers. Section 514, Subsection 2, read with Rule 247. Section 514(2) requires that an applicant must possess prescribed qualification for valuing the relevant class of assets. Rule 247 elaborates this requirement by classifying assets into specific categories, prescribing asset-wise educational qualification, experience and professional background, providing eligibility conditions, experience thresholds and recognition of universities and qualifications, and laying down disqualifications for registration. Thus, Rule 247 operationalizes the qualification requirements contemplated under Section 514(2). Rule 247, qualification of registered valuer for the purpose of Section 514 of the Act. For the purpose of Section 514(2), the qualification of registration as valuers for different classes of assets shall be specified in Sub-Rule 2 to 9. The qualification of registration as valuer for classes of assets mentioned in column B of the table given below shall be as specified in column C of the said table. This is a table given in that section: serial number, class of assets, and qualification. In column B, class of assets is given. In column C, qualifications is given. We will read for ease during this presentation. We will read only for immovable property, And rest you can refer www.cevnews.in, or you can refer the Income Tax Department's official website for further clarifications. Immovable property other than agricultural lands, plantation, forest, mines and quarries. Qualification क्या होनी है इसके लिए? The applicant must be a graduate in civil engineering, architecture and town planning from a recognized university, or be a postgraduate in valuation of real estate from a recognized university, or possesses a qualification recognized by a central government for recruitment to superior service or post under the central government in the field of civil engineering, architecture or town planning, and A. Be a person formally employed in a post under government as a gazetted officer or in a post under any other employer carrying a remuneration of not less than 50,000 per month, and in either case must have retired or resigned from such employment after having rendered services for not less than 10 years or 2 years if possesses a postgraduate degree in valuation of real estate from a recognized university as a valuer, architect or town planner, or in the field of construction of building, designing of structures or development of land, or as a professor, reader or lecturer in a university, college or any other institution preparing students for a degree in civil engineering, architecture and town planning, or for any qualification referred to in clause 1, and must have retired or resigned from such employment after having taught for not less than 10 years. It is reduced to 2 years if you are having a post-graduation degree in valuation of real estate from a recognized university. Any of the subjects of valuation, quantity surveying, building construction, architecture and town planning, or have been in practice as a consulting engineer, valuer of real estate, surveyor or architect for a period of not less than 10 years. It is reduced to 2 years if possesses a postgraduate degree in valuation of real estate from a recognized university and must have adequate experience in any of the following fields: valuation of building and urban lands, or quantity surveying in building construction, or architectural or structure designing of buildings, or town planning, or construction of buildings or development of land. And his gross receipt from such practice shall not be less than rupees 1 lakh in any 3 of the 5 preceding years. पिछले 5 सालों में किसी भी 3 ईयर की जो आपकी प्रोफेशनल ग्रॉस रिसिप्ट है वो 1 लाख रुपए से कम नहीं होनी चाहिए, और इन एनी वन ऑफ द 2 preceding years. If he possesses a postgraduate degree in valuation of real estate from a recognized university immediately preceding the year in which the application for registration as a valuer is made by him. So this is a qualification and experience qualification for immovable property. And for other asset classes, you may refer to the official draft rules. The qualification of a valuer of assets other than the asset covered in sub-rule 2 shall be determined by the Principal Chief Commissioner or the Principal Director General or Director General to whom application for getting registration as a valuer has been submitted. The decision of Principal Chief Commissioner or Chief Commissioner or the Principal Director General or Director General in this regard shall be final. No person shall qualify for registration as a valuer other than as a valuer of works of art or virtual digital assets or other class of assets as may be specified by the board in this behalf if he is employed under government or any other employer. Notwithstanding anything contained in sub-rule 1 to 4, no person shall qualify for registration as a valuer if he has been dismissed or removed from a government service, or he is not a valuer member of a valuer organization registered under the company's registered valuers and valuation rules 2017, or he is not been recommended by a valuers organization registered under the Companies Act, registered valuers and valuation rules 2017, of which he is a valuer member for registration as a valuer, or he has been convicted of an offense connected with any proceeding under the Income Tax Act 1961 4309 of 1961 of the Wealth Tax Act 1957 27 of 1957 or the Gift Tax Act 1958 18 of 1958, or a penalty has been imposed on him under section 271(1)(3) or section 273(1) or section 270(a) or section 271(j) of the Income Tax Act 1961, or under section 439 or section 463 of the Income Tax Act 2025, or under section 18(1)(3) of the Wealth Tax Act 1957, or section 17(1) of the Gift Tax Act 1958, 18 of 1958. So mandatory declaration by applicant, it comes under section 5142A to D. Under section 5142A to D. Section 5142 requires that the application of registration must be accompanied by declaration stating that the applicant shall impartial and true valuation, conduct an impartial and true valuation of any asset required to be valued, prescribed valuation report, furnish a valuation report in a prescribed form. The form number is already mentioned. Restriction on fees, charge fees not exceeding to the prescribed rate of or rates. Avoidance of conflict of interest, refrain from undertaking valuation of any asset in which the applicant has a direct or indirect interest. These statutory obligations form the ethical and professional foundation of valuation under the Act. So, regulation of fees, section 514, subsection 2C, read with rule 248. Section 5142C empowers the prescription of minimum fees chargeable by a registered valuer. Section 248 gives effect to this by prescribing a graded minimum fee structure based on the value of the asset, treating multiple assets valued at one instance as a single asset, and prescribing a minimum fee of rupees 5,000. Thus, Rule 248 ensures statutory control over valuation charges as contemplated by the section. Valuation report, section 5143, read with Rule 249. Section 5143 mandates that every valuation report prescribed by a registered valuer shall be in such form and verified in such manner as may be prescribed. Rule 249 implements that requirement by prescribing that Rule 249 implements this requirement by prescribing that the valuation report shall be furnished strictly in form number 170. आपको जो भी रिपोर्ट देनी है वो फॉर्म नंबर 170 पर ही देनी है. This ensures uniformity and standardization of valuation reports under the Act. Integrated effect of section 514 and rule 246 to 249. When read together, section 514 lays down the statutory authority, eligibility, obligations, and reporting mandate for valuers, and rule 246 to 249 provides the procedural machinery governing registration, qualification, fees, and valuation reports. Together, they constitute a complete code governing registered valuers for the purposes of the Income Tax Act 2025. Final observations as an organization. The draft Income Tax Rule 2026 established a tightened regulatory framework for valuers by clearly defining qualifications, experience, thresholds, ethical standards, fee, ceilings, and reporting formats. The emphasis is on professional competence, accountability, and uniformity in valuation reports used for income tax purposes. So, to read the full rules, application form, and valuation format, click the link. When you click on this link, it will divert to the Google Drive. These are the 5 files available here. Here is a draft IT rules for valuers, qualifications, experience, and other criteria. These are the final draft Income Tax Rules 2026. These are the income tax. This is the Income Tax Act 2025. This is the form number 170, report for valuation of asset under 514 of the Act. This is the form 170 जिसके ऊपर आपको रिपोर्ट करनी है. रिपोर्ट आपको वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट आपको फॉर्म 170 के ऊपर देनी है. ये 170 फॉर्मेट रिपोर्ट फॉर्मेट है. यहाँ देखिए बहुत कुछ क्लियर कर दिया गया है और ये यूनिफॉर्मिटी के लिए आपको फॉर्म 170 के ऊपर ही स्ट्रिक्टली अपनी रिपोर्ट देनी है. यहाँ पर नेम ऑफ पर्सनल इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ द एसएससी, पर्सनल इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ द वैल्यूअर पार्ट बी में. पार्ट सी में आएगा डिटेल ऑफ वैल्यूएशन रेफरेंस. पार्ट डी में शेड्यूल ऑफ वैल्यूएशन, वैल्यूएशन ऑफ इमूवेबल एसेट अदर देन एग्रीकल्चर प्लांट्स, एग्रीकल्चर लैंड, प्लांटेशंस, फॉरेस्ट, माइंस एंड क्वेरीज. देन एड्रेस, देन उसके सारी डिटेल्स आएंगे. फिर लैंड की डिटेल्स आएंगी. एरिया ऑफ लैंड सपोर्टेड बाय डॉक्यूमेंट्री प्रूफ, shape, dimensions, and physical features. If the land is leasehold, please furnish the following details: name of the lessor, name of the lessee, nature of lease, date of commencement of lease, date of termination, term of renewal of lease. देखिए बहुत कुछ नया ऐड किया गया है. आप पूरा डिटेल में इसको पढ़िए. Is there any restrictive covenant in the regard of use of land? ये सारा कुछ आपको दिया गया है. Then valuation यहाँ से शुरू होगी. डिटेल्स ऑफ अदर इंस्टेंसेस ऑफ सेल, यहां पर सेल इंस्टेंसेस आपको मेंशन करने हैं. नेम ऑफ एसेट के रिलेटेड, कॉस्ट ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन के रिलेटेड है ई के अंदर, पार्ट ई. देन इसके बाद में आपको अलग दूसरे एसेट क्लास के फॉर्मेट्स मिल जाएंगे. वैल्यूएशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर लैंड एंड अदर एसेट क्लासेस. एंड दिस इज द फॉर्म नंबर 169 जिसके अंदर आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए एप्लीकेशन करना है. फॉर्म 169 के अंदर आपको प्रिंसिपल चीफ कमिश्नर और प्रिंसिपल डायरेक्टर जनरल और डायरेक्टर जनरल जो भी आपके एरिया से रिलेटेड होंगे, आपने उनको एप्लीकेशन फॉर रजिस्ट्रेशन एज अ वैल्यूअर अंडर सेक्शन 514 ऑफ द एक्ट आपको करना है. इसके अंदर आपको सारे पर्टिकुलर्स देने, क्लास ऑफ एसेट्स के बारे में जानकारी देनी है जिसके लिए आप एलिजिबल हैं. पार्ट सी में आपको डिटेल ऑफ क्वालिफिकेशन ऑफ एलिजिबिलिटी एज अ वैल्यूअर, एजुकेशनल क्वालिफिकेशन है, फॉर्मर एम्प्लॉयमेंट कोई है, प्रैक्टिस डिटेल्स आपको देनी है, एनी अदर डिटेल आपका कुछ है. देन ग्राउंड्स ऑफ डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन आपको यहाँ पर देना है. वेदर यू आर एम्प्लॉयड अंडर गवर्नमेंट और एनी अदर एम्प्लॉयर, वेदर यू हैव डिसमिस्ड और रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट सर्विस, वेदर यू आर अ वैल्यूअर मेंबर of a valuers organization registered under the company's registered valuers and valuation rules 2017. ये आपको name of the valuer organization registered under the company's registered valuers and valuation rules 2017 of which you are a member, whether you have been convicted of an offense. ये सारी जानकारी आपको इस फॉर्म के अंदर देनी है. देन वेरिफिकेशन एंड डिक्लेरेशन लास्ट में है. यहाँ पर आपको सिग्नेचर, नेम, डेस्टिनेशन इफ एप्लीकेबल आपको लगाना है. देन ये क्लास ऑफ एसेट्स यहां पर दी गई हैं. ये सारा भरने के बाद डिटेल्स ऑफ क्वालिफिकेशन फॉर एलिजिबिलिटी एज अ वैल्यूअर शैल बी सिलेक्टेड एज पर रूल 246. डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन for registering as a valuer shall be as per Rule 246. The person shall qualify for registration as a valuer other than the valuer of works, arts, or virtual digital assets of other class or other class of assets may be specified by the board in this behalf. He is employed under government or any other employer. Separate form is required to be filled for getting registration for different class of assets. This form must be accompanied by a fee of rupees 10,000. 10,000 रुपए आपको इसके साथ में जमा कराने हैं. Some of the information of the form would be pre-filled or to the extent possible. This is the form 169. फॉर्म 169 के ऊपर आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए अप्लाई करना है. ये सारी चीजें आपको यहाँ पर प्रोवाइड कर दी गई हैं. अदरवाइज आप गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की वेबसाइट पर जाकर भी ये सारी चीजें आप देख सकते हैं. ये सारी चीजें यहाँ पर आपको क्लिक हेयर बटन दिया गया है आपको रेड कलर का. इसको जब आप क्लिक करेंगे तो 5 के 5 आपको फाइल्स मिल जाएंगी. आप उसको यूज कर सकते हैं, देख सकते हैं रेफरेंस के लिए, या फिर इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट के ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट पर जाकर भी आप इसको व्यू कर सकते हैं. So friends, CEV Group, Council of Engineers and Valuers, thanks for watching this video. Please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe the official YouTube channel of CEV Group. You can also view this video on our official website www.cevnews.in. There is a special YouTube platform created on the top of the homepage of the cevnews.in. If you are having any suggestion, doubt or question related to this video, please do not hesitate to call me on my personal mobile number 90412636607. You are always welcome for any suggestion or comment related to this video. Thank you very much for watching this video. Keep learning, stay safe. Thank you very much.